the battlefield of the mind. We want to examine together how to win the war of the mind. Have you ever asked two questions? Have you ever had friends, family who did things that was out of their character? Have you? How many have had people close to you who have acted out of character, as we say? Now, you yourself, have you ever acted out of character? Has there been times you look back and said, how did I do this thing? I look at many times in my life and I wondered, how was I so stupid to have done this? How could I have done this? It was as if, it wasn't me acting. Matthew 16, I'm reading for verse 13. This is the right Philip. He asked his disciples, saying, who do men say that I, the Son of Man, am? So they said, some say John the Baptist, some Elijah, others Jeremiah, and one of the prophets. He said to them, but who do you say that I am? Simon Peter answered and said, you are the Christ, the Son of the living God. Jesus answered and said to him, blessed are you, Simon Bar-Jonah, for flesh and blood has not revealed this to you, but my Father who is in heaven. And I also say to you that you are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church, and the gates of Hades shall not prevail against it. And I will give you the keys of the kingdom of heaven and earth. And whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven. Then he commanded his disciples that they should tell no one that he was Jesus the Christ. So here is the Lord himself asking his disciples, who say I am, and everyone says different things. All the things they knew about Elijah and this. Then he now says, that's what people are saying. So what are you saying about me? Then Peter makes that profound declaration, and Jesus answered to him, said, Simon, that was not you speaking. You must have received from heaven what you said, and you are so correct, because you have seen that I'm the Messiah. Only heaven could have revealed it to you. Say flesh and blood. Your flesh and blood, your carnality could never have revealed that to you. This must have come from heaven. And Jesus was so happy and so profound. Here was our Lord Jesus Christ thinking, he knew that these people have caused some revelation. That means they've reached a certain level of understanding. The heavens have opened them now more deeper things. I can share with them what's going to happen in the future. So he says to them, I'm going to be killed. I'm going to die on the cross. On the third day, I'm going to rise again. Now, Peter responds in verse 22. Then Peter took him aside and began to rebuke him. Begins to rebuke the Lord. The man he just said he was his Messiah, saying, far be it from you, Lord, that this should happen to you. Jesus turned and said to Peter, get thee behind me, Satan. You are an offense to me, for you are not mindful. You are not mindful of the things of God, but the things of men. So how is it that the same person is, in 1 minute, he's catching the revelation from heaven, and then shortly after that, he's now speaking for Satan? Jesus said it, I didn't say so. Jesus said to him, get thee behind me, Satan. So we find, brothers and sisters, can I ask our three brothers here, just come forward for a minute. So we find a man, Peter, but actually he is a man in three parts. There is Peter, the carnal, the physical man, the one Jesus Christ described as flesh and blood Peter. He is physical, fleshly, just a human being, and that has his own dimensions to it. And then there is Peter, the one who catches glimpses of heaven. And then there is Peter, the one who is an instrument for Satan. The same person, but it's actually three in parts. And whether he's here or here or here, all depends on his mind. So the mind, our mind, is almost a vehicle for our functioning. There is a conscious battle in your mind going forward that when you are thinking of something, your spirit is immediately interjecting and saying, is this of God or not? If it's of God, then you say, yes, you can pass. So you become this gate man to your own life. Hallelujah. You become the sentry to your own life. You become the soldier in your own life. The thought is coming. Yes, you can, if you like, you can come where you want to come from. You can come from Satan, you can come. But then you are there. Are you of God or not? And when the thought is not of God, you can't pass here. I capture you. I arrest you. I demolish you. That's the end of it. Then we can get to the point where everything we do is what we know is what we should be doing. Hallelujah. Praise God.